My name is Molly, and today I once again find myself struggling with money and spending money, especially during this season of gift giving. Miserly spending and obsession with how you spend your money is a symptom very characteristic of someone who lives with obsessive-compulsive personality disorder. However, it is not only characteristic of us, there are others who also feel this way, and so this video is for all of us. There's a lot in this video. I talk about my relationship to spending, my relationship to gift giving. I talk about reciprocity. I talk about solutions during this season that you can talk about with your loved ones, and just like where I am, what's my conclusion. Spoiler, there's not really one. So let's get started. I'm first gonna talk about my relationship to spending. So when we talk about a miserly spending style, we're not talking about a reasonable saver or someone who is not constantly spending because they're pretty conscious of their budget or they're actively saving for something. We're talking about someone who essentially is obsessed with any purchase that has to or was or will be made. This is where someone avoids spending money at all costs, absolutely all costs. And not for a certain reason, like not that they have to, but that is just a principal characteristic of them. I will admit I am obsessed with money. So not in a greedy way where I'm trying to get more and more money. I am obsessed with money in that I'm thinking about it pretty much all the time. I'm really talking about analyzing every purchase that has to be or will be or was made, and just constantly thinking about money and purchases all day long. Naturally, our relationship to spending is like a Venn diagram with our relationship to gift giving. I have loved giving gifts in the past and finding that perfect gift, although of course it has to be perfect. My main gift recipient has been my mom. That is a person who I've consistently gifted to. Always a part of those gifts is giving her things that make her life better or are exciting and fun and overall bring comfort and joy. Comfort and joy. At the same time, underlaying all of that and the fact that I want to go all out and get her, everything on her list, for example, is what she's given me throughout life. And I am trying to make up for it and reciprocate in some way. And this is one way that I feel I can do that. This brings us seamlessly into the topic of reciprocity. So as much as I want to say I'm not motivated or influenced by reciprocity in terms of if someone gives me a gift, I will just, say thank you and not feel like I have to give something back. That is not the case. There's always going to be this underlying reciprocity. And it's actually a really interesting topic and social theory, and reciprocity varies by culture. And it's actually really important to relationships and society. So there is a social scientist, I believe, named Marcel Mauss, who viewed reciprocity not as a simple give and take, but as a system of obligatory giving, receiving, and repaying. It creates and maintains social bonds and hierarchies. Plus, this exchange is he says, fundamental force in many societies. Exchanges are not purely economical, but also imbued with social, moral, and political meaning. This concept explains how gift giving establishes social obligations, reinforces status, and can even lead to intergenerational or group level solidarity. So while you may be feeling pressures of reciprocity, or maybe not necessarily, but maybe a little bit, also know that it is bigger than you. It is like all of us feel this collectively, which I think is very interesting. In other words, it is very normal to feel indebted to someone if they give you something and you are not able to immediately or in the near future reciprocate that back. And it's been studied. So how do I reconcile the fact that there are people out there who genuinely love gift giving? First of all, it's a fact. There are people who genuinely love gift giving. They wait all year for this, or they do it throughout the year. They save up, they find it rewarding and fun, and that's one of their things, whereas that might not be one of my things. Well, it's not. I have different things, and this is one of their things. Many, or maybe most of these people aren't doing this looking to be reciprocated. You may be asking, where am I in this season? I make videos of things that I am dealing with in the current moment. So where am I in this season? Honestly, my initial and my main prevailing feeling so far this season has been, I'm really uncomfortable right now with the idea of having to receive and get gifts. And so please do not buy me any gifts. Let's call the whole thing off. I do not want you to spend money on me. I also, which I think is very valid, don't want to have the feeling like I have to reciprocate and then I'm gift giving only out of that. But the other part of me is there are people who genuinely love gift giving, which we talked about. And so if somebody wants to give because that is their thing and that is something they love to do, let them. Let them. And assume positive intent. Assume it's because they genuinely want to give, not because they just think that's something that you do around this time of year. Say thank you, be gracious, be grateful, and we'll talk a little bit more on this later. Also, if I myself want to give, despite my weird, complicated relationship with all of this, I am allowed to, even if I do not gift to everyone in the room, even if I don't gift to everyone in my life, even if, etc., etc., etc. What's potentially important is having a conversation with those in your life who maybe there are usually gift exchanges with. So if honesty makes sense in this case, I would go for honesty. For example, I'm not in a place where I'm able to give gifts this season, right? Just wanted to let you know. Set the expectations. Hey, I know we've done a gift exchange in the past. I will not be able to contribute to that this year. Now, finding the exact words and phrasing to give to people, especially if it's online or over like text instead of in person, is really hard. I did this recently. It is nearly impossible. I spent weeks/months working on this statement, and there wasn't a way that I could craft it where it didn't sound like I was, one, ungrateful for any past gifts I received, or two, where it was kind of presumptuous, like, oh, I assume you're planning to get me something this year, so I just wanted to say, before you do, don't. So my only advice for that is that it's not going to be perfect, and just send it and it's going to be okay. Another solution to this whole thing and this whole video, I think, is either like a Secret Santa or a gift giving chain. I love Secret Santa because it means that I get a very clear expectation that I will be buying one gift for one person and that I will be receiving one gift. That just feels better because it's very clear and clear as kind. Also, it still allows us that feeling in the air of that like gift exchange environment, which is very exciting, and it doesn't, maybe make us feel overwhelmed to get the perfect gift for every single person. I also think a gift giving chain can be an interesting and fun alternative to a Secret Santa. It's very similar, but basically if I started the chain, I would give a gift to someone in the friend group, for example, and I would, put a little thing in their bag that says, okay, like pass it on, it's your turn to gift somebody, and it would keep doing that until it makes its way through the friend group. And this one's kind of fun because you don't actually know when your gift is coming. So now I want to speak to everybody, which is the people who love gift giving and the people who don't, or who would rather not. This will not be perfect and will never be perfect, what I'm about to propose, but what if both sides or all people got to live their truth when it comes to gift giving? And so what I mean is those who love gift giving vow to do their best to keep things true to them. So if that's what they want to do, they do it. And those of us who do not want to feel obligated and buy a million gifts every season just for the sake of buying a gift or reciprocating are able to stay true to themselves as well. It's not a perfect solution. Let me know if you do have one. If you enjoyed this topic, I do have a video from earlier this year where I talk about OCPD and miserly spending, so I will make sure to put that in the description box if you'd like to check that out right after this video. And as always, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Just be kind and respectful. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.